Now, let's see how society has forced women in marriages in particular to live in survival mode in their marriages instead of thriving in those marriages. Now, the Bible, on the other hand, teaches us that marriage is supposed to be a partnership, a covenant where two must agree to work together, come together in a union to thrive. But society often tell women the entire different story. Society says that women are the ones alone responsible for keeping a home together, maintaining peace, holding the relationship together, which is very, very difficult and heavy on most women, except those that are lucky married to people who have the love and fear of God. Now, this creates conflict and pressure women, forcing them to survive instead of living and thriving in those marriages. These are some of the things that made marriages these days to be very, very unworth it. Depending on who you marry anyway. Now, the biblical principles teaches us about mutual agreement and partnership, and even scriptures emphasizing about unity, share responsibility, and mutual respect in marriages. But what we are experiencing or what we are seeing is entirely different. Both husband and wife are called to support each other, love each other, and honor each other, contributing equally to support spiritually, emotionally, and practical aspects of the home. But what we are seeing is very, very much opposite to these things. Now, the Bible cited it in Ecclesiastes that two are better than one because they have a good reward for their labor. If they fall, one will lift. If the other fall, one will lift. Ecclesiastes 4, verse 9 to 10. You can read it yourself. You will see how the Bible preaches of partnership, different from what patriarchy is teaching you. Now, marriage is meant to be a partnership of equals, not a burden placed on one party. Now, when people are teaching these things, somebody will be like, "Oh, you are not married. How come you are teaching people about marriage?" You need wisdom to teach people about something and not actually experience. There are places in life that experience is required, but this one, it is wisdom. Now, societal pressure women to be the caretaker. Now, society glorifies women who sacrifice endlessly for their home and families, labeling them as strong women, good wife, wife material, good mother, a virtuous woman. Now, women are told that your duty is to keep a home, nurture the children, make your husband feel happy and successful. And so, any man who is not successful, they will accuse the woman of not doing something. Hey, God. Now, the emotional level, the household choices, the relational maintenance is often seen as a woman's responsibility, regardless of her own personal needs and ambitions. These are some of the silent weight responsibility that are placed on women, and that forces them to live in survival mode. Society teaches women that rather than thriving, prioritizing their husband's stability over their own comfort and their growth. It seems like once you get married, your entire being is a race. You have to dim your own life to life his own life. How this creates survivor mode. Number one, how it creates survivor mode: overthinking, overworking. Women take care of the household. Emotional and relational responsibility are oftentimes neglecting her own self. This is how it forces her to live in survival mode. Number two, self-suppression. Her needs, her opinion, her desires are all silenced just to maintain peace. The peace that is not even her own peace, maintaining someone else's peace. Number three, emotional exhaustion. She's constant to effort to keep the home without equal participation leads to burn out. These are some of the reasons why you see women filing for divorce, or you watch other women saying, "I don't want to marry." It's conditional women. The value for women is conditional. Women are praised for what they do and not who they are. The services that you render, how you make them feel, how you constantly meet the needs of others without actually meeting your own need. They praise you for this. Why are you? As a result, they endure endlessly. Survival mode is disguised as strength. Now, some people constantly work just to earn this title of a good wife, a good mother, a strong woman. Now, real life example, you see some people manage a full-time job. They raise the children, they cook, they clean, they plan the household finances. And her husband is solely focusing on his career and his social life, rarely contributing to emotional or domestic level. All the domestic level is placed on her. Some husbands cannot even afford a house help. Friends and family may admire your strength, but they don't see how isolated and unseen and unappreciated you are. And over the time, you find women, ambition, their desire, their voice all suppressed, leaving her emotionally exhausted, surviving in the marriage rather than thriving. This is a very dangerous place to stay as women. And some men cannot even recognize this. If you love somebody, you have to assist this person and make the journey of marriage easier. And here is a lesson for women. Number one, marriage is not a survivor. Marriage is a true partnership that involves shared responsibility, not endless sacrifice. It is not because they are giving food money and little things that makes you to take all other responsibility alone. So set boundaries, project your emotional need, Prioritize your energy. Take rest when you need. Take care of your own self also. Communicate your expectation. A healthy relationship requires discussions, negotiation, a mutual agreement. Not someone who will stay silent. Not someone who will neglect her own need just to fulfill everyone else's need. Reject societal pressure. You are being praised for overwork. It's not a spiritual mandate. It's a social norm that can harm your well-being. Don't mistake this into a godly thing. I know sometimes in churches they preach these things, but it is not godly. Seek alignment. Marriage thrives when both partners contribute and support each other. Marriage cannot thrive when you are constantly sacrificing, when you are constantly being the one to forgive, be the one to carry the weight of the house, be the one to support the house, to keep the house together, be the one to doing the emotional labor, supporting everyone else except your own self. When society detects that women are alone, when society detects that women alone must keep a home, it forces them into survival mode, prioritizing endurance over growth, sacrifice over joy, pleasing over authentic partnership. The Bible calls for mutual agreement and shared responsibility, reminding women that marriage is a partnership, not a test of endurance. Not true. True strength lies in your voice, boundaries, and mutual growth, not a silent survivor. This is why you must understand what marriage and commitment or partnership means before you get married. Don't get married because you are running away from biological clock. If these things are the sole proprietor, the sole primary root of you getting into marriage, you will suffer all these things that I've listed.